I thought she was on birth control. 19 meters 26F. I. 19 meters. Started casually dating Jen. 26F. She told me she was on birth control. We didn't need to use condoms. I asked, "Are you sure?" I usually use them anyway to be sure. She said yes, she gets allergic reactions. She promised me her birth control was enough. I was dumb enough to believe her. Now she tells me she thinks she's pregnant. I was floored. What the fuck happened to her birth control? She said her form of birth control was just tracking her cycle and knowing when it's safe to have sex, and she must have messed up and we had sex while she was in her fertile window. I think she lied to me by telling me she was on birth control. She said no cycle tracking is a form of birth control that's worked for her up until now, and I'm toxic and misogynistic for saying she lied. I like Jen, but I'm not ready for a kid. We were casually dating, but it's not like I thought this relationship would end up in marriage or anything. I feel so stupid for believing her. But she insisted and made it seem like if I used condoms it would make it painful and uncomfortable for her. Edit. I know there are non-latex condoms. She said she was very sensitive and allergic to all condoms. Again, I was dumb enough to believe her. I've known her since I was a kid. She was in my church. And then when I was 11-ish, she was a camp counselor with my sister at a camp I went to. Pro tip for everyone in the comments: use condoms in addition to whatever else you are using. She did lie to you. Tracking your fertility is not birth control. Have her take a pregnancy test in front of you. No one says they are on birth control when they are just tracking their cycle. They might say they use natural family planning, or they are aware of their cycle, or whatever. But no woman would say, on birth control, without being a liar. I see you're reading and replying to comments, so I wanted to add this, because I haven't seen it mentioned yet. The age difference, specifically because you're still a teenager, is gross, and backs up the idea that she purposely baby-trapped you. Please don't read that as an indictment of you, because it is not. There is a huge amount of change and growth that occurs from your teens to your mid-20s. Not to mention stuff like going out to bars. Assuming y'all drink. To put it another way, this is a person who will be 8 years out of high school. Likely has a bachelor's if not a master's. And is dating someone who was in high school last year. It's just not normal. It doesn't automatically ensure her motives or personality is FKD up, but the correlation is way too high to ignore. Edit. Thank you for the award. IdGaff about people who hate on editing to thank for awards. It's proper FKN manners. Honestly, this thread kinda sickens me with the victim blaming. If this was a 19-yo girl posting about a 26-yo man who slipped the condom off and impregnated her, no one would be saying she was at all to blame because she wasn't on the pill. And especially if he was saying he didn't want her to be on the pill, which this woman said about him wearing condoms. Flat out. It would be purely about him being an evil fuck. And most likely calling him a rapist. And they'd be right. And that should apply here too. This chick is a rapist piece of shit. Same as the guy who takes off or doesn't put on the condom without a woman's consent. Lying about birth control makes you just that. We need to use the correct language for this shit and stop having these double standards of agency, where men, especially young men, are both responsible for everything they do, and everything that was done to them. She's not wrong about it being a way women prevent pregnancy. But she knew damn well what she intended you to believe when she told you she was on birth control. She manipulated you and is now name-calling you when you call her out on it. I hope she's not, so you can cut your losses and leave her be. I've read your comments and to me it sounds like she groomed you. No adult that has no a child from before puberty even starts should start sleeping with them as soon as you became of age. I know it may be, if she's not pregnant, too late, but for future reference, if she can't have sex with a condom, just don't have sex with her at all. The nut ain't worth all this, especially at 19. If she's pregnant, make sure you get a DNA test to ensure this is your child. Lie about birth control. Lie about other things. Yep. She blatantly lied to you. How can a grown woman be so ignorant? Cycle tracking is not sufficient birth control and can't even be considered it. Look into reproductive coercion laws in your area. Don't make any promises to take care of her and the child until you know that she is pregnant and it is yours. Always take safe sex into your own hands. Simply put, you can't always trust someone else to be as safe as possible. Especially if you're casually dating. Not going to get too deep into the age gap, but seriously. No normal, mentally right person is going to want to date, fuck someone else that they watched grow up. She manipulated you. And depending on how long you've been messing around with her, there's a chance she is pregnant, but it's not yours. You just happen to be the fall guy. I hope it all works out for you. WTF is a 26Y0 woman doing fucking a barely legal kid? Tell that weirdo to get an abortion and never dip your stick in her again. If I see one more post like, I raw dogged her, but she said she was on birth control, did she baby trap me? Quote. If she says you don't need to worry about pregnancy prevention, you need to worry about pregnancy prevention anyway. How long have you two been seeing each other? And how did you meet? As an older woman, she is more mature than you. Sounds like she could have manipulated you. Before you go into full panic, find out for sure if she is or not. And hopefully she really isn't. And I would advise you leave that relationship the second you find out. If she is pregnant, be honest about your feelings. If you are ready to be a parent, then you are not ready to be a parent. And it is important that you are honest about your feelings because it will affect the child's life. If you try to keep it, knowing damn well you aren't ready or won't be able to support that child. Jen lied. While technically you can say the rhythm method is a form of birth control, no one would say they're on birth control just because they track their cycle. Paternity testing ASAP. And never trust your reproductive well-being on the word of someone you don't even know very well. Sounds like she's trying to baby trap you, and I hope for your sake it's not true. If it is yours, don't feel like you have to have a relationship with her. If you want nothing to do with the baby, that's your right, but you will be stuck paying child support, I'm afraid. If you don't want to be with her, tell her now, and it might factor into her decision to keep it or not. But it sounds like she's trying to make you a victim of reproductive coercion. Oh my God. Cycle tracking is not fucking birth control. Tell her you will help pay for termination and see if she's still magically pregnant. I always find it problematic when someone is dating a teenager with this large of an age gap. And look, problems, get a paternity test and definitely stop having sex with this crazy woman. Condoms are not just for birth control. They also prevent an STD. You should always use condoms unless you're in a committed monogamous relationship with someone. Never trust that anyone will be on birth control, provided. Also, cycle tracking isn't completely accurate ever. IDKWTF she talking about? I am sorry you are in this situation.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.